Okay, we applied a couple light coats of a self-etch primer and allowed it to flash. Now you don't have to sand the self-etch. You allow it to flash the recommended time, and then now you can mix up your primer surfacer and apply it right on top of that without sanding or anything like that. So we got our primer surfacer mixed up, and we're using Eastwood's 2K urethane primer surfacer on this. And this specific primer surfacer mixes 4 parts primer surfacer to 1 part catalyst. So make sure before you use any product to always look at the technical data sheet. We applied 3 coats of this primer surfacer, allowing it to flash in between each coat the recommended time. We applied 3 coats, and now we can allow it to dry. Again, look at your sheet to tell you how long it should dry before sanding. Maybe 3 hours, maybe 6, something like that, depending on the brand you're using. But me personally, I like to allow a little extra time just to make sure that it is dried, because what this can lead to, sometimes if you get your primer on there, especially if you rush the flash times, well, them solvents are evaporating, and if you sand it before all the solvents have evaporated, it may look good, but it's still evaporating. So as it does, that primer is actually going to sink down in the scratches again. You may not notice that until after it's painted, and you get it painted. It may even may look good right after you painted it, and after all the solvents evaporate, you notice that there's some sand scratches, and that's something you don't want. So personally, me, I'm not a production shop, and production shop don't have this luxury, but I like to allow things to dry overnight if possible. If it says 3 hours, if I've got time, I like to allow it to dry the next day before I start sanding. And if possible, I recommend that you allow it to dry at least a day or even more before block sanding.